everybody. Today I have my beautiful one-on-one client, Nikki, and she will share with you her transformation since she was working with me. So, my beautiful Nikki, can you please share with us how did you feel and what kind of issues have you been facing before you started the coaching with me?
Yeah, I think before we started working together, I was living in such a mindset of lack, living in such like a poverty mode, even though I have an Ivy League education, I live in New York, I have a wonderful job. But it was just constantly very anxious
Mhm,
and in this like survival mode. And I would use like food to comfort myself when it's completely unnecessary.
mhm. And how did it impact your life to feel like so anxious all the time and unsure about yourself?
It definitely did not feel great. Um, at times I would feel like really helpless and feel like there's just like a little girl inside me like screaming and feeling unattended to.
But you always knew that you were meant for so much more, right? And whenever you saw other people having more, how did you feel about that?
Well, for example, I told you that I wanted to lose weight and then you suddenly lost a bunch of weight. And then I was like, what? And I just couldn't even look at your Instagram, for example. And, I didn't want to reach out to you over Voxer. And then you reach out to me and you're like, Nikki, what's going on? Like, how are things? And then I told you that I feel triggered because seeing you achieving the goals that I've set for myself, um, you know, I I found I wasn't comfortable.
Hmm. So you felt like triggered seeing people, not only me, having what you want, right?
Yeah, I think back then, I'd find that to be like very triggering and just not so much because of jealousy, but it's more coming from a place of thinking that I wasn't enough and I wasn't good enough.
That you weren't able to achieve it
And
yourself.
I just don't know how to achieve those goals that I have for myself, like a little bit helpless and confused.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. But then we kind of like were able to transform it into inspiration and you were able to achieve that. Okay. And what else did you feel back then before you started working with me in terms of your relationship?
I think sometimes I had trouble kind of speaking up about things that were important to me. For example, kind of like how finances were dealt in the relationship, which is what led me to you in the first place. Because I think and I have an amazing partner. I'm really proud of what he's accomplished, and he provides a lot for me. Um, but I think at first, when I first came to you, was because I was expected to pay for certain things, and um, it was just not exactly aligned with how I truly felt. But even though it wasn't aligned with how I felt, I just had so much trouble speaking up, which is why I first reached out to you when we started working together.
So can you share an example where you like not felt good to speak up? So what have you been what kind of trouble did you have with speaking up? So you couldn't speak up for what you want or you couldn't set a boundary. So what was that thing?
I think both, just like things that were important to me, but I just had trouble like verbalizing it because I was worried that if I tell my man that you know I don't want to pay for X, Y, and Z, then maybe he'll leave. But then I think you reminded me that you know the universe is my source.
And then if the right, like so that even if you would leave, you would have love in your life, right?
Mhm.
And that's something that so many women struggle with, especially when they are with a successful, affluent, good-looking man. They're like, oh, what if he leaves? But no, you're the prize, you're the queen, right?
Mhm.
And you have so many options. Okay. So now after we worked together a while, what were your biggest transformations in terms of how you feel and
I think the biggest change is probably like how grounded I feel right now compared to before. Like I said, I think for many, many years, like these are all accumulated experience, since I was a little girl. kind of like stress, anxiety, and feeling that I wasn't good enough. But now I just feel really grounded, and I can sit in my own energy and feel my body and
So
feel,
what does it
feminine, sexy.
what does it mean for you to be grounded? Is it like that you can relax, be present in the moment, enjoy your life, enjoy the moment, or what does it mean exactly? How does it show up in your life?
Yeah, I think, what does it mean to be grounded? I think just like have a sense of like knowing an inner peace.
So inner peace, right? Like the inner peace of being in the moment and enjoying the moment, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And you also taught me the recharge, under thought recharge.
Mm, yeah. So to get more energy because you also were facing burnout before, right? And
Because I
now,
was like pushing myself really hard. I was like trying to lose weight. So I was pushing myself to go to the gym like 5 times a week, like dying on the treadmill. And then I was like, oh, I have to cancel our coaching call because I'm so tired from being burned out at the gym.
mm,
And my weight was still going up.
yeah, but it,
I was like very discouraged.
yeah. So there was like many challenges on the way, but you didn't cancel it because I was like, yeah, we're not canceling. We're having the coaching call. Okay. So now you're like having the inner peace, and you through the underneath thought recharge that I taught you, you also have more energy, right? Like more energy to do stuff.
I think now I generally sleep much better. Before, remember I was telling you that I had like trouble like sleeping. I would wake up at night and be up for like 2 hours, 3 hours, and not able to fall back asleep.
Yeah, so that was like the symptoms of having a lot of stress and survival and anxiety and pushing yourself and burnout. So definitely just trouble sleeping. Okay, and in terms of your relationship, so how did you transform? So what are the things that you're seeing now? Are you able to speak up more? How is your boyfriend providing?
I think one area that is important to me is kind of like my relationship with my family. I love my family. I'm in a different country than where my parents are, and my mom is kind of like a little bit of a hoarder, and then my father's business didn't go so well, so I financially support them, but sometimes like seeing how they live and like operate, I found to be can be quite triggering. But I think now, in my interactions with them, I can see them in a more accepting light.
So you were able to find peace with your own background and family, yeah?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And a lot of healing had to take place.
Yeah, we did a lot of subconscious healing. So it wasn't just,
A lot of healing work
yeah,
and a lot of inner child work.
So we did a lot of subconscious healing, inner child work, trauma healing. Like we didn't only work on the conscious mind, but also on the subconscious, right?
It's actually mostly with the subconscious. It's hard to just talk yourself. I tried that method for so long. Like, oh, Nikki, you have to go to the gym, 6:30 a.m., run on the treadmill for an hour. So burned out. The next day, like go again.
Mm. And then in terms of your romantic relationships, so how do you see things transformed?
Yeah, things are great. We started looking at rings. There are some settings that we both like. We love going on really nice vacations. Yeah, I mean, for long distance flights, I only like to fly first class and nice resorts and things like that.
Great. So how do you feel that your boyfriend takes you on so amazing vacation, gives you the gifts and so on? Can you give like an example of a vacation that you really liked?
A vacation that I really like. Well, we're going to the Maldives in 2 weeks, so
That's
I'm really
exciting.
excited. And then I've always wanted to stay at the One and Only. It's like a nice, really nice like resort um kind of chain. They only have very few like properties around the world. And then that was actually a manifestation that happened because we went to Dubai in February of this year, and then went to the One and Only for dinner at a 2 Michelin-star restaurant. And I was like, oh my God, I've never seen a hotel like this nice and luxurious. I was like, I would love to like I want to stay at a one and only. And then when we were looking for trips to go to the Maldives, my boyfriend was like, why don't we stay at the one and only? I'm
Oh,
very
that's
excited.
amazing. I'm so, so happy. And what was like one
So
of
I
your,
think what you taught me was to kind of express my desires and then tell them, how that would make me feel and speak from a place of like, they feel appreciated and you speak like what makes you happy. They always want to like step up and make you feel happy.
yes, healthy masculine men want to provide and make you happy, definitely. And if a man doesn't want to provide and make you happy, he's just not healthy masculine or not ready yet. That's the only difference. Okay. And what was one of your favorite gifts that you got, like that your boyfriend?
Mm. Well, I really like he's bought me like so many Louboutin shoes, heels. And then, yeah, I really love those shoes. And then remember last year when we were in Japan, I saw my friend gave his girlfriend a pair of earrings. And then I was telling my boyfriend that, oh, I would really love earrings. And then he didn't say anything at the time, but then for New Year's, like he got me a pair of earrings and I like literally cried because I was like, oh, he heard my desires.
Oh, that's so exciting. But you also learn to speak up, right? You learn to speak up your desires. So that's
Because I think before I wasn't like really saying these things, but then I was like, oh, I really love, obviously you say in a sweet way
yeah, like
instead
that's
of
the little technique stuff. Yeah.
like a little
Okay.
girl. So I'm like, oh, this will make me so happy.
Okay. And then that's amazing. So in terms of your relationship, you feel much more confident now, right?
Yeah, I think I'm excited when we pick out a ring that we like.
Yeah, for the engagement. Okay. So in terms of your body, how did things change? So you said you used to burn yourself out on a treadmill every single day and you still didn't have the results. And now, do you have any results like already?
Yeah, so last month I saw a number that I haven't seen since like 2017, and
And
now I'm
did
working.
you reach it through everyday workout?
I only work out at the gym twice a week now, just with my trainer.
Mhm.
It's mostly just like diet because I think before I think strength training is important, but like having the subconscious to be aligned with the desire, like my dream body, is even more important because when I think through our work together, and actually it was like one or two meditations that we did together, I think I saw a vision where, when I feel that I'm already stepping into the body that I like, I would just want to reach for the like really healthy foods like salads and fruits, instead of like eating things that are like bad for me or overeating.
Yeah. So first of all, you were able to stop the emotional eating through being more grounded and relaxed, right?
Yeah.
And
And also
second,
know that I didn't have to burn myself out on the treadmill.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
that cardio is not important, but it's just like that masculine way of trying to reach my goal
Mhm.
wasn't wasn't really effective for me.
Yeah. And secondly, you realize that all of those actions didn't get you to your dream body, but we worked on you becoming manifesting your dream body, like becoming the vibrational match, eating, breathing, behaving like you are having your dream body. And then you intuitively were able to take action that took you there, right? So this is what
Hmm.
I always talk about, like manifestation. And this one thing was an example where it worked so beautifully for you. Okay, so thank you so much for sharing all of those details. Like I really appreciate that. And I'm sure so many ladies are now really inspired through your journey and look up to you. So can you also share with the other ladies how was your experience working with me and why would you recommend others to also work with me as a coach?
Yeah, I think you're very passionate in what you're doing. You're passionate in helping your clients. Um, I think you have a lot of experience. I really appreciate that. And you have a lot of the kind of emotional bandwidth and capacity to like hold a space for me. I think overall, like working with you has been, I would say, like very life changing. The most important thing um, is just like going from survival mode to now being like grounded and knowing that I'm empowered and I can manifest the life that I want. Because all the examples that we talked about, like relationship, like body, lifestyle, etc., that's all a manifestation from my core. which is like how I feel about myself and if I'm centered
Yeah, and now if you
and
see
the inner peace.
and now if you see a person who has the next level of your desire, you still feel triggered, or you're like, yeah, I know how to manifest that and I'm getting there.
I can have it too.
Great. Okay,
And now
great.
I use it more as an inspiration because I would just step into that mindset. Like, oh, look at this person, he or she, is doing the things that I want to do. Like, how would I feel if I already have it?
Yeah. Plus, again, you know how to manifest that because you learned that and you have my support still. Anything else that was really beneficial to you with working with me?
Mm, what else? I don't know. I think overall just like much happier and like it's so I can't stress enough like the transformation from being in survival mode, like in poverty, to living more in an abundant mindset.
Mhm. And how did you feel knowing
And I
that
also feel like I have a much better relationship with my kind of the inner child
with
connection.
yourself, right? Like you're not your inner self. Yeah. So you have a better connection with yourself, self-love.
Mhm. Yeah.
And how did you feel knowing that you have always someone that you can reach out to when something happens or you don't know what action to take?
Yeah. You're also very responsive on Voxer, which I appreciate.
Mhm. And how did it make you feel having someone who is guiding you on the journey?
I feel just like having that support was really helpful, especially when I was at a place when I couldn't like fully hold myself.
Mhm.
And
Great.
you also always like, even when I didn't believe that I could do it, you already believed that, I was already in that place. So I think having someone who has that kind of faith was really, really influential to my growth.
Amazing. I'm also so proud of you seeing you grow so beautifully. And I can't wait to see you in the next 6 months. So you're still going to work with me for the next months, right? And we're going to go straight into more manifestations. So, why would you recommend other ladies to work with me as well if they have maybe similar issues like you before?
I think they would be astonished at the results that they can achieve. I mean, we've been working together for like how long now? Over a year.
Mhm.
And yeah, I've come from a place from like stress eating to like now achieving, you know, this weight that I haven't seen and this number that I haven't seen in like since 2017. And yeah, like I moved from a tiny studio to like a really nice place. And then like after our call, we're gonna go look for an even bigger place. So just like, I mean, people have different goals, but I think whatever their goals are, you can help them achieve like what their desires are.
Okay, great. So you would say that they saved themselves definitely years of being stuck.
I mean, I was stuck for a long time. Like this weight thing. I've been wanting to lose weight since like 2012, 2013. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, great. Okay, thank you so much for sharing so open. I really appreciate that. I'm so many other ladies appreciate seeing your transformation and they gonna
And
feel
it's
so
definitely worth the investment. I think I was like before I was also hung up by, because coaching is an isn't, not it is an investment, but I will say the results definitely outweigh the price that I paid.
mm. So you would say that you much rather spend the money and have the results than keep the money and have no results.
I mean, I think the value that I got from working with you outweighed the price that I paid.
Great. I'm so happy to hear that. And
Mhm.
it is so true, right? Like when we want our next level relationship or other manifestations, yeah, sometimes we have to invest in ourselves. And as long we move forward and have what we want. Okay, anything else you would like to share at the end?
Yeah, just try. You'll be happy with the results.
Okay. Thank you so much, beautiful Nikki, for sharing. And everybody else, thank you so much for watching. If you feel like you desire more support, I do offer one-on-one and group coachings right now. So feel free to reach out to me. My email is in the description box. And thank you so much for watching and send some love in the comments for Nikki.
Hey.